Just the other day, we saw the deputy president in Kirinyaga and then the president was in Nyeri. They had two different occasions or two different functions, and in each function, a seat was left open. In one end, the seat of the president in the deputy president's function was empty. On the other side, the seat of the deputy president in the president's function was empty. And now it brings into question the relationship between the president and the deputy president. We were here before. Just the other day, the president, President William Ruto, who was the deputy president, and the then President Kenyatta were not in good terms. And it seemed as if one tried to be better than the other, one tried to be influential than the other. But on this one, I can analyze it this way. The deputy president is seeking to have influence beyond what he has right now, because come 2026, going to 2027, the president will need a perfect person to become the deputy president. And there was no pact. It is not like kumi zako kumi zangu, the one that the president with Kenyatta and Ruto had. This one is completely different, because President Ruto needed someone who will win this seat, and they gave that person the deputy president. And the contest was between Kindiki and Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua, as you know, has not been in the limelight in politics for a long time. Only a one-term MP, then to the deputy president. Kindiki has experience. He has a lot of experience in the public sector as well. Of course, I'm not saying that Rigathi doesn't have experience in the public sector, but in politics, Kindiki seems to be better off than Rigathi Gachagua. And there is a conflict, because just the other day as well, MPs came to back Kindiki. But this is what is happening. When you look at these two critically, you'll find that they are presenting different ways of governing and different ways of appealing to the public. While Kindiki is a very reserved person and a very straightforward person, you have Rigathi Gachagua, the truthful man, who is a true politician in a way that he likes to appeal mostly to the people in Mount Kenya. And the reason as to why he wants this is because come 2026, he will need that on the table. 2026, President Ruto will not just go for anyone, because he understands that he needs to deliver his promises towards 2032. And he needs someone very strong. And the person who will present that is a person who will have a lot of support from their backyard. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua knows that it is a bit slippery right now. He is encountering a lot of challenge, a lot of backlash from the mountainside. People from the mountainside who are not happy with this government, or they are still not happy with this government after all that it has done. And it seems as if it is elusive to him. And he will not have that number of people to present and say that I have this much. When in 2022, 2021, when they were choosing the deputy president, he had money. Of course, at that time, President Ruto did not have money. President Ruto had quite some good support from different sides of the country, but he did not have that much amount of money to push him to presidency. Of course, it needs a lot of money. I'm not saying that Ruto did not have money. He is a very rich person, but you need that additional money to push you to become president. Current deputy president presented himself with money, with some influence, and that kept him moving. And now in 2026, 2027, the story is not going to be about money, but about influence, because they've already served this term. And when it comes to a re-election, you need a lot of convincing to make sure that you are re-elected, because you've served your term. People are saying, what have you done for us? So you need that very good convincing to move to the other level. And that makes the kind of choices that the president has. Should he go with someone who is reserved, someone who will give people hope that there will be change in the next regime by changing the deputy president, or should he stick with Rigathi Gachagua and ensure that Rigathi Gachagua is re-elected as the deputy president? So those are the choices that the president has to make. Even if he is trying as much as possible to act cool, that is a choice that he will have to make come 2027. If there is one person who is going to make the deputy president lose votes, and he thinks that he's campaigning for him, is Mutahi Kahiga. The approach that Mutahi Kahiga is giving to this entire discussion about the president and the deputy president is doing a lot of harm than good for the deputy president, because you cannot just come out from nowhere and start lecturing people on the need to have tribal policies put in place just because you have your tribal person at the top. Kenya is mixed with all these big tribes that all want these resources, and the resources are scarce. So when you try to bring up tribal discussions every now and then, you're only telling us one thing, that you are not in Project Kenya, you are in Project Tribe, and that does not sell so much. So the efforts that the Nyeri governor Mutahi Kahiga is giving to the deputy president are doing him more harm than good. He might think that he's appealing to the people in Mount Kenya, but at what cost? At what cost are you appealing to the people in Mount Kenya and forgetting the entire nation that is going to join you in voting for the person that you want? So unless you want to become a governor in any county in Mount Kenya, Nakuru, Nyeri, whatever, then it is possible for you to have that discussion, because at the end of the day, Mutahi Kahiga knows this kind of a discussion is the one that is going to re-elect him, but is not going to re-elect someone like Rigathi Gachagua. Coming on to Kimani Ichung'wah. Kimani Ichung'wah is defending the president, of course, going across the country defending the president, but that is also negative to himself if you look at his voting backyard. Yes, he might defend the president, but not as bold as he's coming out to decampaign or saying negative things about the deputy president. At the end of the day, politics should be accommodative, and it should accommodate all these divergent issues that people might have. So as we look towards going to 2027, there are a lot of dynamics that are going to play on choosing the next deputy president. Influence from outside is also going to count. There might be influence from the United States. There might be influence from other parts of the world, because if the United States, for example, chooses a female president, there will be that aura, that move, that environment for also Kenya to have female leaders. And that can even tip the scales on who is going to be elected or chosen to be the deputy president come then. So a lot of factors are going to be put into consideration. Also, there are also people from outside Mount Kenya who want the seat of the deputy president. We know that Gladys Wanga is one of the prospects or prospective people who has been named to be a viable person to become the deputy president. And we know that also she has the accolades. She is proving herself time and time again that she can be a very good deputy president. So all this we're going to discuss as we go forward towards the elections in Kenya.